Good evening and welcome inside historic Shaw Gymnasium in Beverly Hills, Michigan for a battle of the Yellow Jackets as Avondale makes a short trip to Detroit Country Day School. I'm Luka Nowinski alongside Steve Lepkowski, and sure to be a great matchup tonight. Avondale, one of the top teams in the state. They've had a pretty nice season so far. What are you looking to see here tonight?
Yeah, Luka, we know as the crowd is entering in the gymnasium, you feel a nice buzz around it, no pun intended. Like you said, there's one way or another, Yellow Jackets are going to win, either Avondale or Country Day. But Avondale's traditional program that is always highly successful. They're always in the mix. You know, when they used to be a Class B school, they actually won the state championship in the early 2000s. And, you know, that's carried over. I believe they're a Division I team now. But, you know, they're sitting at 11-7, and we've faced some teams earlier in the season where the record doesn't do it justice. They play in the top division in the OAA, and that's always competitive. You know, we're on a 3-game win streak, sitting at 9-8, and, you know, we're starting to get our sea legs a little bit with the season. And, you know, unfortunately we have, you know, the injury bug has hit us again. Roman Allen, who's a fantastic freshman, started several games. He's out tonight with an injury, and we still have obviously Christian Cast and Anthony Cartwright. So you're looking at 3 of our top, you know, 5-6 players on the team out tonight. So we're definitely going to have our hands full. But, you know, this is, again, we're all building toward the playoffs, and if you can believe it, this will be our 18th game, and in Michigan high school basketball, we can play 22. So playoffs are just right around the corner.
Sure to be a great game. If there's one thing we know about Country Day, it's that they're not going to quit. It's next man up mentality. Who do you expect to step up tonight?
Well, you know, Chase Cooks has been playing really, really well, and he's going to start tonight. And, you know, he's been back and forth, starting, coming first man off the bench, but it's his senior year, and he's a kind of a great story. I also look for Evan Singleton, who's another senior, to kind of pick up some of the slack from the depleted roster. But, you know, obviously Isaiah Marino and Cordell, you know, they're plug-and-play, everyday starters. So, like you said, we've had the injury bug all season long. The one thing Coach Nobles has done a great job of, it's almost, and we're not going to make a big deal about it, next man up, like you said.
Country Day, known for being a young team this year, but 3 seniors in the starting lineup tonight. Let's throw it over to public address announcer John Porter for some introductions and our national anthem.
Varsity contest between the Yellow Jackets of Avondale High School and your Detroit Country Day Yellow Jackets. Before we meet both teams and their coaches, the privilege of this game was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Let us honor and respect their efforts and sacrifices on our behalf. Civilians, please remove your caps. All veterans, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone able, please stand at attention. Place your right hand over your heart and join the Detroit Country Day School Fellowship Choir in singing our national anthem.
We welcome you back inside the Shaw Gymnasium. Just moments away from tip-off, let's meet the lineups for tonight's game. Starting with Avondale it's number 1, Jaden Bourgeois. Number 3, Jordan Clayton. Number 4, Justin Sykes. Number 5, Jacoby Loris. And number 10, Noah Bonds. And a little bit of a different look for Country Day tonight, starting with number 3, Isaiah Marino. Number 10, Evan Singleton. Number 14, Cordell Robinson. Number 24, Chase Kukas. And number 50, Cade Wilhelmy. 3 seniors in the starting lineup tonight, a little bit different, bringing that leadership and the next man up mentality that Country Day is going to need.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've talked on previous telecasts, when you're getting these moments with injuries, you need to lean on your seniors. They're going to have a steady hand. The other thing I like, and it'll be interesting to see, this may be the first time I can remember Coach Noble's going with Chase and Cade. A bigger lineup for us, and typically we're 4 guards, 1 out. Great look off the break.
And Kukas right away gets on the board for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, we did a great offensive tip there. You tip it to the point guard, and then we're filling the lanes. That's exactly how you rep it.
Avondale now looking to respond on the offensive end.
Yeah, it's interesting coming out of their 2-3 zone. I'm sure they've scouted them, and especially with a bigger lineup for us, the 2-3 may help us match up defensively a little bit better.
Avondale going around the table. Clayton for 3.
Yeah, that is pure shooter right there, and we're going to have to extend and close out from the block on that. They're coming out of the zone press.
Marino working. Now it's Cordell Robinson at the top, working against Bourgeois. Going right side, nothing there. Finds Marino back up top.
Yeah, you can see, Avondale is certainly long and athletic, and they are really closing these lanes, making it difficult. There's really not many seams in their man-to-man.
Kukas driving baseline. Layup no good. Nice look, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great take by Chase, be aggressive early, and that's how we're going to have to play offense against this defense. But, right now in this 2-3, we got to be mindful of closing out to the shooters.
Patience is going to be key for Country Day tonight. A lot of shooters that aren't in the lineup tonight, so they're going to have to find every good shot attempt that they can. Avondale, it's Clayton with another 3, 2 for 2 quickly from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he may be getting Coach Nobles out of that zone more quickly than he'd want to. Clayton looks to have a pure stroke, and anyone that playing against 2-3 hitting that corner shot, sure he does that consistent basis.
Cordell Robinson for 3. Kukas with the offensive rebound and the putback. Kukas has had a really nice couple of games, especially in their last game against Green Hills, and already on the board with 4 points tonight for Country Day.
Yeah, he's good. Him and Kate are going to have to give us a presence inside. I mean, that's the reason Coach Nobles, given the injuries, starting with 2 primarily post players. So that's their job, what Chase just did. You got to get offensive rebounds. You got to block out on the defensive end, get the outlet, run the court. And so hopefully when we're in the offensive set, we can find a way to get one of them the ball in the block or in the high post and do a 2-man game, because if we can't get to the interior with them on the floor, we're going to have trouble tonight.
Kukas is a player. He plays very physical, aggressive. He's not afraid to draw some contact, go down low, and we've seen it already tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's how he's played all year, and like I said, he's coming on in these last couple of weeks, and that's what you want to see from your seniors.
Another 3-point attempt from Clayton. That one just rolls out. Avondale will keep it.
Yeah, the positive of the 2-3 zone is we're forcing Avondale to shoot outside shots. I mean, they haven't taken to the rack once, so you like that. But if they're getting open looks and hitting them, it's a different story.
There's Clayton for 3 again. He's got all 9 of Avondale's points, 3 for 4 from beyond the arc.
Well, we know who their shooter is, so we definitely going to have to change things up defensively, either overplaying him if we're still in the 2-3, or we're going to have to go to a man.
Marino mid-range jumper, air ball. Avondale saves it. It's Clayton with it on the other end. Driving, puts up a shot blocked by Marino. Cordell Robinson now taking it the other way. Yellow Jackets trying to work quickly. Avondale takes it away, back the other way. And the slam for Jacoby Loris.
Yeah, typically this year I felt we've been playing our best when we've been going up and down, but given our lineup right now, I'm not sure how much we want to press it up and down because they have 5 very athletic players, long, all can handle. So it's going to be knowing when to press it down the floor or slow it up is going to be key for us offensively.
Cordell Robinson working. Now over on the right side to Singleton. Yellow Jackets passing the rock a little bit. Robinson over to Kukas. Working baseline, draws a double team, kicks it back out to Robinson for 3. Rims out. Marino fighting for the rebound. Saves it into Wilhelmi. Finds Kukas down low. Chase Kukas. 6 points already.
That's great. Great look by Cade. Great effort by Isaiah. And although that's not a traditional play you draw up, that's what you want. Post-to-post passes and getting easy looks.
Loris has it for Avondale. Puts up a shot. Doesn't fall. Marino trying to get the rebound. Gets it over to Cordell Robinson, who will set the table once again for Country Day. Spin move. Lay up. Lays it in. Nice move by Cordell Robinson to get on the board.
Yeah, he's just going, beating them down the floor. Very acrobatic play. Cordell's highly talented, and that's when he's at his best, attacking that rim.
Clayton's shot no good.
This is something we're going to have to be able to handle. Even if Cordell is good of a ball handler he is, Avondale's going to put some ball pressure on him that I don't think he's seen this year. And so that's going to disrupt our offense, and we've got to be able to handle that and get into a set.
Singleton over to Wilhelmi. Now Robinson working against Jaden Bourgeois, who's given him a little bit of trouble so far tonight, but he's handled it well. Kukas in the corner, almost lost it. Gets it back to Singleton. Yellow Jackets staying patient. We know they can win low-scoring games.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Coach Nobles is going to want to rely on defense to have a low-scoring game. If this thing gets into the 70s, 80s, we may have a little bit of trouble tonight.
Marino's jumper was no good.
So now we've gotten out of the zone into the man and see how Avondale attacks it. Probably a good change. Hit a couple threes.
And Jacoby Loris with a 3-point shot.
Well, Avondale can shoot the rock, and whether it's a zone or man, so we're going to have to work really hard of staying on our man and, again, closing out, hand in the face, because they've started this game on fire. 12
of Avondale's 14 points on 3-point shots. Marino baseline jumper short. Ball flies out of bounds, and Avondale will keep it. Couple of new faces in for each team. Country Day has Jaden Martin and Blake Murphy checking in. Wilhelmi will take a seat along with Evan Singleton.
Yeah, and with Jaden coming in and Blake, now we're getting our traditional post. Now we're back to essentially a 4-guard, 1-post look. So we should be able to handle their pressure a little bit and maybe get some run-outs with this lineup.
And check that. Evan Singleton still in. It's Marino that goes to the bench for Country Day. Just about 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Country Day down by 6. They're going to need some defensive stops, and that's why you bring Jaden Martin in.
Absolutely. He's the glue, and he's been our defensive stopper all year, and so that's going to really help, hopefully.
DJ Moody with a long 3, doesn't fall. Singleton with the long rebound. Jaden Martin will take it up, slow it down for the Yellow Jackets.
Great look.
Finds Blake Murphy, and it just gets tipped out of bounds.
But you could already see in that first set there, we get the rebound. Now we have Cordell, Evan, and Jaden. They all can handle the ball at a high level. So now we got 3-point guards on the court. That's going to help with this pressure. Jaden with a great look, just in and out of Chase's hands. But that's a good sign for us.
Caleb Ross over to Jacoby Loris. And Martin picked it away, bringing it the other way. Down low, doesn't fall. Blake Murphy with the tip, doesn't work either. Yellow Jackets of Avondale taking it the other way. Long pass inside for Clayton. He scores, and he's got 11 points already.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate sequence. Jaden, every day's the same day. He gets a steal as soon as he gets in the game, goes to the rack. Blake is hustling, just can't find the basket, and they get a run out. But, again, I do think having 3 guards in against Avondale is probably going to be the way to go. That way we can handle their pace of play. If we are going to stay with 2 traditional posts in a lineup. We are really going to have to slow it down and be methodical, which is, hey, that's a great recipe as well, but we've got to understand that when we have it in the backcourt.
This feels like a game where we can kind of throw it down low, work in the post, and we actually kind of have a little bit of a height advantage, it seems like, which is a little bit unusual for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. But part and parcel of that is what Avondale does a great job is with ball pressure. So, we've talked on telecast before, that post could be open, but if the man pressure is distracting the ball handler enough, sometimes it's more difficult to enter that because you're so worried about the ball pressure.
Avondale putting some pressure. Martin taking it. Bounces it to the corner for Murphy, who stepped out of bounds. Another empty possession for Country Day.
Yeah, they come in their zone press, and that's, at the end of the day, what Avondale just did. They would take all the time. They're trying to speed up our offense, and you saw it happen there. We're going to have to slow down, maybe methodical, take our time against the press. We've got 10 seconds to get across the line and not be so quick with the ball getting it down.
Avondale working under 40 seconds to go in this first quarter. Almost lost it there. That's Isaac Gordon. Now driving. The little pass, and it's Jacoby Loris.
Yeah, you can see, like I said at the beginning of this telecast, don't let the record of Avondale fool you. They play as competitive a schedule as you're going to find, and they are a really good team.
Kukas in the corner for three. Doesn't fall. Martin with the offensive rebound, fighting. Cordell Robinson for a three on the wing. That one doesn't fall either. And that one goes out of bounds down the floor. Avondale will take over with 5.2 on the clock.
Yeah, it's been such a quick quarter. I don't want to jinx us with 5 seconds. But not a foul call. This quarter has flown by. And we're going to definitely have to make some adjustments at the break here.
Avondale shooting just been too much for Country Day so far. They're going to need to put a shot up. One on the clock, and nothing. Jaden Martin smothered him. So at the end of the first quarter, Country Day's down to Avondale by 10 already, 18-8.
Yeah, Luca, and as you know, at the end of every first quarter, we do a shout out. And tonight we have a shout out to two different people, special people to me, Gerald Conaway and Jason Weber. They're both alums, and they were senior captains on the 1995 state championship team, which we featured in a previous telecast. And as I said that night, Gerald went on to play football at Northwestern. Jason went on to play basketball at MSU in Central Michigan. And after that, they came back. They were working at the time, but they came back to help Coach Keener and were assistants on the 2007 state championship team, which we're going to feature at halftime. And I remember those days. Now, Gerald and Jason, they were still young, and I remember going to practices just watching, and I know Coach Keener loved having them because they could still play. And so there would be days where, and Gerald, about as competitive a person as I know, they knew when they had to show the kids what was up and give it to them. And they would scrimmage with the kids along with obviously coaching, but they just did a great job. And we hadn't had a state championship since 1997. And that year we won it, and Gerald and Jason have a unique distinction, and I'd have to go back. I mean, they may be the only ones to win a state championship as a player and a coach at Country Day. So Gerald and Jason are both highly successful. Gerald is in Texas and has had a long career with GM. Jason is a very successful attorney living in Atlanta. So thank you again. They're two dear friends of mine. And actually, to both of them, I talked to Coach Keener today, and he sends his best. And so G-Con and J-Webb, Lep says hi, and hope all's well, and thanks for everything you've done for Country Day.
Yellow Jackets working here in the second quarter, just lost it, so Avondale taking it the other way. Very excited to hear about that 2007 state championship team at halftime. You won't want to miss it. Country Day now with a 10-point deficit. What's going to be the key in this second quarter to get a little bit closer and get back in this game?
Well, first
as Avondale hits another three, DJ Moody.
Just going to say right before Moody hit that, we have to close out on shooters, and we got to close out and get a hand to hand in their face to stop it. And besides that, we've got to find our rhythm on offense. It's going to be difficult. Avondale is very aggressive on defense, and they're playing very sound defensively right now, whether on the full or half court.
Avondale on a 10-0 run. Another three, and it falls. DJ Moody, 2 straight. And that's not what we needed.
Yeah, Avondale's playing like they're playing on their home court. The rims are very friendly to them, and so they're a great team. And, again, with all of this whole season, we've talked about how we have a young roster. Well, now, we have 3 significant contributors to our team not in. So this is going to be a difficult road to hoe for us. Hopefully, I've talked about this in the past. One of Coach Keener's, whenever we got into a deficit like this, he would always break down the game into shorter periods of time. So, like, if he was coaching right now, he would say, hey, let's just focus on these next 6 minutes and cut this lead in half. We're not going to let's not think about going into half, and let's just cut it in half. Then we'll get to halftime, and then he would say we're going to cut the lead in half at that point by the fourth quarter. And you just got to work like that. I'm sure that's what Coach Nobles is doing, trying to settle the kids down and say, hey, we know what the score is right now. We got to start closing out, playing great defense. When we're on offense, attack the basket, and maybe get some fouls, get some free throw attempts with the clock not moving, and let's see if we can maybe get this to a 10-point deficit, a little bit under 10 by half.
Avondale is on a 13-0 run going back to that first quarter, so Country Day is going to need to put a stop on defense, first of all, because Avondale's been shooting lights out, but also our offense is kind of sputtered to a halt toward the end of the first quarter and now in the beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah, with this full court pressure, they're really stagnating our offense. It's taking so much effort to get across half court, and again, they are long defenders, so there are not many seams in that defense to drive to. And so, we're going to have to set some screens, kick it out on the double teams to get some offensive output.
There's Cordell Robinson to stop the bleeding. He's got 4 tonight.
Yeah, Cordell's definitely going to have to take a lead here offensively and, help him. Got to get Isaiah going. That's a great thing. Got a jump ball. Looks like we got possession back. So, again, every time down the court is a big possession at this point, and let's just focus on getting solid shots off.
Chase Kukas coming back in. He's been a weapon on offense for the Yellow Jackets thus far tonight. Cordell Robinson taking it up, trying to move quickly. Finds Kukas on the right side. Kukas looking for some help. That one goes out of bounds, tipped by Avondale's Jordan Clayton, so Country Day will keep it.
Yeah, Avondale is doing a great job in their man with their help side. They are leaving the opposite corner offensive player for us just unguarded. And what that does is that allows the every help side defender push out. And so really they're playing 5-on-4 defensively when we get it on the wing or the corner. And we're going to have to see that and take advantage of that.
Kukas finds Marino, trying to drive baseline. Now over to Wilhelmi, who can't get it to fall.
Yeah, that's the look we want. Just didn't go down, but that's, again, getting to the basket, seeing an overplay by the help side. That was a great look.
Clayton's long three didn't go. Robinson trying to bring it the other way. Marino down low, lays it up, lays it in. He's on the board for the first time tonight.
Yeah, that's great to see. Anyone who's followed our team, he's got to be someone who's involved in our offense.
Feels like once you get him to score once, that's when he kind of starts to shine. He gets the rebound there.
Yeah,
hopefully he can turn it up.
Yeah, absolutely, Luca. He's definitely gets in his streaks, and that's what we need to get him on.
That pass flies out of bounds, and Avondale takes over.
Yeah, Cordell just got caught in no man's land there. But I do like, since the last time out, we are seeing the open player at a much better pace. And so it's a good sign here. And again, we're down 12 now. That's what we talked about. Let's just get it under 10 by half, and we're going to be okay.
Feels like there's been a little bit more of an effort to go down low after that timeout as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely, especially when we have two post players, that's going to be the way for us to win.
Clayton saves it for the Avondale. Now for three, that one doesn't fall. Offensive rebound. The putback doesn't fall. Avondale gets it again. Bourgeois working against Evan Singleton. Finds Sykes. Kicks it out. Clayton for three. You don't want to give him open looks. He's got 4 3-pointers tonight. Count them.
Yeah, that's his spot on the court. He's hit 3 pure from there, and so he obviously practices shooting there quite a bit.
Avondale going the length of the floor on a fast break. Doesn't go. Kukas with the rebound. And we've got a stoppage here. It's a foul against Jaden Bourgeois, so the first foul of the game comes halfway through the second quarter.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think, Luca, we've had some telecasts where we've been in the bonus every quarter, so this has really made this game fly by.
Kukas goes back to the bench. Yellow Jackets have Cordell Robinson, Jaden Martin, Evan Singleton, Blake Murphy, and Isaiah Marino. That pass gets tipped out of bounds. I've been very impressed with the defensive pressure brought by Jaden Bourgeois throughout the night already. He's been working primarily against Cordell Robinson, and he's done a great job of making it difficult and forcing decisions.
Absolutely. Cordell is a great ball handler, going to be one of the great point guards at Country Day. And if you can do that to Cordell, you are a high-level defender.
Cordell Robinson's 3 is no good. Avondale taking it the other way. 27-12, Avondale has a nice lead over Country Day. Clayton for 3 again. That one doesn't go. Marino with the rebound. Jaden Martin will take it up, facing a little bit of pressure. Over to Cordell Robinson. He knows how to set the table. Yellow Jackets, one thing we've seen is they've been patient. Marino with the mid-range jumper. That one falls.
Yeah, like you said, Isaiah's got to get his confidence going, and he sees it going the rim a couple times. He certainly can give you 25 any night, so we need him to be one of our main scorers tonight.
What a block by Isaiah Marino on the baseline. Great job to stuff that Avondale possession. Now Cordell Robinson taking it up. Trying to go down low. Mid-range jumper. That one doesn't fall. Bourgeois with a long rebound. Pass all the way up the court. It's Loris who puts it down.
Yeah, we've had some sets here where kids are playing so hard and they're just getting the early run out, some easy buckets. But if we keep attacking the basket, I think these are going to start falling for us. Great pass.
Cordell Robinson, nice pass to Evan Singleton. Out to Martin and now Marino. Marino, Cordell Robinson for 3, hand in his face, it's short. Ball bouncing around, Singleton comes up with it. Can he get it out? It's Martin, blocked, and goes out of bounds. Country Day will keep it on the offensive end of the floor.
Yeah, we've said this all season long, and it's a testament to Coach Nobles and his staff. Despite this score down 15, our kids play so hard, and they are not playing the scoreboard, and that's the first step in any kind of thought of coming back, is you can't play this scoreboard, think you're going to get it all at once. So this is nice to see, getting offensive rebounds, hustling, playing great defense, and, we just got to, they've just been shooting the lights out from 3, and it's really been the difference in this game.
Marino gets the inbound pass, trying to drive baseline. Puts up a shot. That one doesn't fall, but he draws the foul.
Yeah, tough shot there. Like that, isolating Isaiah. He's going to have a size advantage against most players, and I wouldn't be afraid of doing that a couple times down the court. Just get him isolated on the wing and let him go to work or get it to him on the block. He's pretty good around the rack.
Marino will shoot 2. Foul went against Javante Anderson, number 30 for Avondale. Marino hits the first. He's got 5 points now, starting to get going here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to have a big night for us. And, part of this is just like he did, if we get to the line, we got to make our free throws. And there's a lot of things that are getting involved in trying to get back into a game. And this is one of them. Attack the rack, get fouled, make your free throws.
Marino hits them both. And Zane Halabi checking in for Blake Murphy now.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes left in the half, and we're in, a good spot. We didn't let this game get out of hand. If we can, go on a 5-6 point run to end the half, we're going to be just fine going into the break.
Under 2 minutes to go. Bourgeois working. Floater doesn't fly. Kukas working for the rebound. Gets it in to Isaiah Marino, and now Cordell Robinson will take it up.
Yeah, great effort by Chase there.
There's Halabi cutting baseline, kicks it back out. Robinson working, and it's picked away by Bourgeois. Going the other way for Avondale. Lays it up. lays it in. His first points of the night come in dramatic fashion.
Yeah, Bourgeois has been a problem on the point. He's playing great ball defense, reminds me of Jaden Martin. And anytime you can have someone like that on your defense, you're going to give the offense fits.
Robinson working, floats one for Kukas. Trying to drive baseline. Man hits the deck.
Yeah, I think when we get to half, I'm sure Coach Noble's going to talk to the kids. There's several times where they're either doubling or they're overplaying with their help side. And, we've got he's only open for a split second, but we do have some diagonals available to take advantage of.
There's Isaiah Marino. Now, Bourgeois for Avondale has 2 fouls already, so might be interesting to see if Country Day tries to attack him a little bit. Under a minute to go in this first half. Avondale with the 3. Doesn't fall. Marino with the rebound. Jaden Martin will take it. Martin slowing it down. Finds Cordell Robinson.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to be patient. Just really get a good look here, no matter what. Let's get a good look and cut this into this lead.
Country Day's being patient. Under 30 seconds to go. You can tell they're kind of trying to find Kukas on the inside. Now Marino working, drives, doesn't fall. Tip doesn't go either. Bourgeois with the rebound. And a foul will be called against Jaden Martin.
Yeah, we're trying to get a good look. Tough shot by Isaiah. But, our 14 seconds to go. We've got to go into half with this lead being no more than what it is. Still at 13, it's not out of distance for us. But I do feel in that second quarter we did a good job. And there was a moment there where this thing was going to be a rout. Obviously don't like the score as it is, but we've held in there. And so right now, really got to, not give up a 3, play strong defense, and if they put up a shot, secure the rebound. Don't let an easy second chance points to Avondale.
Yellow Jackets will hold it. This will probably be the last possession of the first half. They're already up by 13. Crucial for Country Day to get a stop. There's Clayton for 3. He got it and one.
Well, they did the exact opposite of what I was talking about. That's unfortunate. Tough play. Jaden's trying to close out. And obviously a great shot by Clayton, who's been on fire all night. And, that was a big-time shot. Gets fouled. Chance for a 4-point play.
Clayton has hit 5 3-pointers in the first half. 17 points.
That's a full game's of work and a half. He's been impressive. Avondale collectively has been impressive. Really sound defensively, able to go full or half court with their defense, and they've got a bunch of shooters on their team.
Clayton with his 18th point matches Country Day's total from this half. 2.5 on the clock. If Country Day wants something, they'll have to work quickly. Kukas to inbound, finds Cordell Robinson. He'll throw up a prayer from just past half court. Doesn't go, and we've reached halftime here from Shaw Gymnasium. Country Day with a pretty big deficit to Avondale. It's 35-18.
Yeah, we're going to have to go in the half and regroup. Obviously, we got to know who their shooters are. We got to close out on them. And then offensively, we just got to find rhythm.
We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. It's Steve Lepkowski with a little bit of a recap from the 2007 state championship team. We've also got an interview in just a moment with Country Day assistant coach Dale Brundage. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here. Country Day down on the scoreboard, 35-18. What's been kind of the biggest challenge for us here in this first half? Avondale has been shooting very well.
Yeah, we just need to find where the shooters are at, and also we need to stop dying on screens right now. We're getting hit with screens. We're not really communicating that well, and the second half is going to be even more difficult because, we're on the other side on defense. So there's some stuff that we obviously need to clean up is, one, just knowing where the shooter is at all times.
Yeah, number 3 for Avondale, Jordan Clayton with 18 points, 5 3-pointers in the first half. What's the key to stopping a player like that?
Well, we're probably going to have to get out of the zone, the 2-3 zone, to be completely honest, and just face guard him because he has this confidence. He's shooting it really well. We're just going to have to just basically just face guard him the entire game.
All right, well, thank you, Coach. We're looking forward to seeing what the Yellow Jackets can do in the second half. We'll be right back with a little story time from the 2007 state championship team. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We welcome you back inside the Shaw Gymnasium here at halftime. And Steve Lepkowski, I hear you've got something to tell us about the 2007 state championship team.
Absolutely, Luca. Tonight we're going to highlight the 2007 state championship team that was 22-6. The assistant coaches that year were Joe Pawecki, who was a longtime assistant at Coach Keener's. And then also, as we talked about at the end of the first quarter, alums Gerald Conaway and Jason Weber. You know, in that year, that team motto was get it done. And, you know, this team came into the season, while they had some talent, was not one of our highly touted teams coming into the season. And they were young, and they had your normal ups and downs of the regular season. And entering into the playoffs, we were unranked. And so that's very unique in the sense that we ended up winning the state championship as an unranked team. But as they say, we got hot at the right time. We got into the playoffs and played highly contested games. Almost every game went down to the wire that season in the playoffs. In the quarters, played Detroit Southwestern, won 49-40. In the semis, played Stevensville Lakeshore, beat them 49-42. And then we got to the finals, and we went up against an old nemesis of the basketball program, East Grand Rapids. And the significance of that is our 95 and 96 teams played East Grand Rapids and beat them. And along with that, before this season, the season prior, East Grand Rapids lost in the finals 55-51 to Detroit Renaissance. So they had a majority of the roster coming back, and, you know, they had played us in earlier years past in the finals, so they were highly motivated. And this probably, I'd have to ask Coach Keener, but probably one of the more highly contested state final games that we've ever played in. The score change, or was tied 8 different times. There were 12 different lead changes. After the third quarter, we were down by 1, but we ultimately pulled it out with a final score of 66-61. And we had a 10-year drought. You know, we won 6 state championships in a very short period of time, and then win a decade. And in 2007, ultimately won a 7th state championship in program history. And I know Coach Keener was very proud of this team because, again, I'm going to review the roster in a moment, but this was not, you know, with a bunch of, high Power 5 players, although there were some. And it was just a really gritty, defensive-minded team. And, again, came out of nowhere once that playoffs hit. And, tonight's a special night and it's a special team because the senior captain is our head coach, Daryl Nobles, and he was All-State, scored 14 points in the state championship game and played all 32 minutes and ended up being All-State that year, went on to play at the Avondale University. And along his side was another coach, Dale Brundage. He was a junior. He had 5 points that game, 4 assists, was a great defensive player, was a junior that season. But it's neat that they two now are kind of taking the mantle over from Coach Keener. And then there you had Darnell Brown was a great player, 2-time All-State player, ended up going to Bowling Green, and he really got hot in the playoffs. He was a pure scorer, inside out, had a great jump shot. He had 22 points and 8 rebounds in that state finals. It was a fantastic performance. A sophomore they had was DeShante Riley. He ended up being a 2-time All-State player. He is nearly 7 foot, great post player. Went on to play at Syracuse and after that Eastern Michigan, played overseas in the NBA D-League, and a great player. Clayton Beard was kind of a defensive stopper, get your rebounds, played football. He had 13 points that game. Jordan Dumars was a sophomore that season. He was a shooter. He ended up going to play collegiately at U of M. And then you had 2 players who are more known for football. Jonas Gray was a junior, and he'd come right off the bench and shut down whoever the opposing team's best offensive player was. And he's one of the all-time great football players, play at Country Day. He went on to play at Notre Dame and in the NFL. And Jonas was just a great person. And then Benny Fowler. Benny was a great basketball player, but his junior year ended up playing football for us, and he found out he was an excellent football player as well, and went on to Michigan State, won the Rose Bowl at Michigan State, went and played in the NFL, is known for catching Peyton Manning's last pass. And so you had this collection of players that, some of them more impactful, and Jonas and Benny, they went on to play football, but they just brought a championship mentality. And then the final person of note is Jordan Nobles, Daryl's younger brother, who's an assistant on his staff, was the ball boy on that. So this is a special team to Coach Nobles, special night to highlight it. You had 2 alums, and Jason and Gerald coming back to assist. We've got 3 of these players are now back at Country Day coaching, taking the mantle again, like I said, from Coach Keener of this great basketball program. So 2007 special team kind of came out of nowhere to keep that championship level within our program, and was a 7th state championship in Country Day history.
Yeah, really great team, and it's the underdog mentality that
absolutely
really made a difference. And it feels like that underdog mentality is something that even now the current team is kind of starting to play into. This year's had its ups and downs, but it feels like this team, and this is something I talked to head coach Daryl Nobles about a little bit, is, with all these young players on this team, it's an opportunity to kind of learn throughout and get to the point where you've gone through all of those experiences, and you can go into a season where you're not necessarily the favorite, but you know how to make things happen. And that's something we're looking forward to in the coming years from this group.
Absolutely. We've had a young roster last year with 4 freshmen starting. Now they're sophomores, and we've said it so much. Sometimes there's unfair expectations put on our kids because it's their second year starting, but they're still only sophomores. And what you noted, I like in Coach Noble's 3rd year, you're starting to see the players take on his personality, and that is tough-minded, play some defense, let your work speak for itself on the court. And that's going to get us through this rough patch.
Bourgeois working for Avondale. Finds a teammate on the outside. They'll slow it down a little bit. Jacoby Loris got the scoring started for Avondale quickly in the second half. Now going down low, it's Justin Sykes getting on the board for the first time.
Yeah, we've obviously got our work cut out, and, no one's here to make excuses, but we do have to realize 3 of our, 2 of which are starters. And, Anthony started last year as a freshman, been hurt all season. You're talking about 3 significant losses and playing an excellent team. So we're really going to have to dig down here and, get some defensive stops.
Loris for 3. He's got 14 tonight.
Yeah, I've been thoroughly impressed. This is the best shooting team I've seen all year. I've not seen a team shoot like this, how Avondale has all season long. And anytime they're just in the zone right now, and if you're a shooter, that feeling. You just aren't thinking about anything firing it up. The problem is it looks like every player on their team is in that zone tonight.
Avondale off to a very quick start in the second half. They have scored 7 points. We are not on the board just yet, so we've got some work to do, and we got to find something. I mean, our defense has struggled to stop them. They've found open looks, or even when we're challenging those shots, they seem to just be falling. And on the offensive end, it's been just as difficult, really. I mean, there's not really been any outside shooting. The only thing that's really worked for Country Day so far is going down low a little bit, and even that's been a struggle as of late. So we've got to find something that can work for us here.
Yeah, and again, you've got to give a lot of credit to Avondale, too. We're looking at an excellent team, and this is what excellent teams do. They impose their will on you, and they're doing that both offensively and defensively. So I do think, I'm sure Coach Nobles, this may change to let's work on this on offense or that on defense, and just to get something out of this, and doing that like getting it down low to Blake, and maybe we keep doing that successively, and again we cut this lead in half by the break.
Nice job by Blake Murphy. Now Avondale working on the offensive end, trying to go down low. It was Justin Sykes that was trying to get it, and Country Day will take over.
Yeah, one thing that Avondale's doing a great job, you watch their ball handler, as soon as they pass the ball, they don't stand still. They're cutting. And so they're getting a lot of good movement offensively, and we tend to lose sight of the players that don't have the ball, and that's why they're getting easy looks. And defensively, we're just struggling with their ball pressure.
Bourgeois working, drives, shoots over Blake Murphy and scores. Now Cordell Robinson trying to find Blake Murphy.
Yeah, see, they're just really overplaying. Their defense feels like they're trapping or almost triple teaming every ball handler. And again, you have to know where the other your teammates are, but it's hard because they're so focused on that ball pressure.
Cordell Robinson now trying to find something. It's Kukas over to Jaden Martin on the left side. Now Blake Murphy in the corner. Pass tipped and goes out of bounds off of Kukas. So Avondale will take over.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we even attempt. The game is out of hand right now. Any kind of full press pressure defensively. Like you said, in order for us to get back in this game, we're going to have to change something up here. But they're an excellent team. I'm thoroughly impressed. This is the best team I've seen on this court this year.
Nice pass there by Jordan Clayton. Finds Jaden Bourgeois for 3. Now Jaden Martin working. Lays it up, lays it in, and 1. Nice job by Jaden Martin.
Yeah, great effort by Jaden. He's obviously known for his defensive prowess on our team, but he's a player that he's quick enough. He may be able to get in those seams just like he did, and it's going to take an effort like that to really just attack the basket, get fouled when you're shooting, and try to score with the clock not moving.
Foul goes against Avondale's number 10, Noah Bonds. Yellow Jackets down 47-23. Clayton looking inside, and a foul called. It'll go against Evan Singleton.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Coach Nobles is scheduling to be successful in the playoffs. You know, it's exactly how Coach Keener used to schedule. So you're going to take your lumps sometimes, but you learn from it in an effort to play a schedule that gets you ready to make deep runs. And Coach Keener would always say it. We will not face another team better than the schedule we played in regular season once we get the playoffs.
And there's Cordell Robinson.
And Daryl's doing that with his schedule, and you're going to have nights like this. This is an excellent team. I can't emphasize it enough. I have not seen us play a team like this all season.
There's a three-point shot that doesn't fall. Martin bringing it the other way, now over to Isaiah Marino, going down low, puts it up, and puts it through.
Yeah,
Marino's got 10.
Great strong look there by Isaiah.
Yellow Jackets on a mini 7-0 run, and a foul called now.
Yeah, and, you know, we're down 20, but what we are watching is our kids are still playing hard. Evan does a great closeout, gets a block. We're attacking the basket, being strong with the ball in the paint. And so that is the takeaway, the positive in this. And it truly is Coach Noble's personality and imprint on this program now in year 3. His kids play hard no matter what the score is, no matter how much time's left in the game.
There's a loud reaction to that foul call as Jordan Clayton goes to the line. Clayton makes the first. And the second.
Oh, he must have been shooting beyond the three-point line. I didn't realize that when the foul was called.
From the reaction from the crowd and from the Yellow Jackets bench, they didn't really see a whole lot of contact there. It was an interesting play, kind of went all very quickly here and results in 3 points for Avondale. Long pass over to Blake Murphy in the corner for 3. That one too strong, and a foul called on the rebound attempt.
Yeah, that was a great pass there. That was a diagonal I was talking about. Avondale's really overplaying, so we've got to be able to see that diagonal or skip pass. And then sometimes when you get it, even if you're open, doesn't mean you need to shoot. You can then attack and got a free access to the rack. So that's good to see because they've been doing that all night, and we've got to be able to see that skip pass.
Cordell Robinson working. Now trying to find Marino inside, and a foul will be called on Avondale.
Yeah, Clayton just came over there from help side, and that's their defense. Isaiah got it in his hand. Clayton's coming right over to get it. Now Clayton fouled, but that shows you the aggressiveness of their defense.
Foul went against number 0, Caleb Ross. Cordell Robinson will inbound for Country Day. Tried to find Isaiah Marino. Blake Murphy will get it. Back over to Cordell Robinson. Floater inside, falls. Nice job by Cordell Robinson. He's got 8 points. Caleb Ross working now against Evan Singleton. Trying to drive inside, force back out. Now it's Loris, kicks it back out to Ross. Ross for 3. No. Murphy with the rebound, and Jaden Martin will take it back up.
Yeah, it was a good defensive set by us, force an outside shot, get the rebound. You know, and a good take is just Jaden got a little bit out of control there.
Loris with the alley-oop, and it goes down for DJ Moody. Cordell Robinson finds Marino inside. Tried to get his own rebound. Avondale taking it the other way. Clayton, wide open 3. Doesn't fall. Martin fighting for the rebound, and Avondale stepped out of bounds, so Country Day will take over. Chase Kukas coming in. And Ethan Bray now checking in for Country Day for the first time tonight. It's interesting, we haven't seen him until the third quarter here. Usually kind of more of an impact player in the rotation.
Yeah, you know, hopefully he's coming in and give us a little spark. You know, Ethan's definitely someone that offensively can shoot it and real heady player. So, you know, maybe he can kind of change the pace here. And here comes a double.
Cordell Robinson lost it. Avondale's got it on the floor, and a foul quickly. That'll go against Ethan Bray.
Yeah, Avondale, again, I can't say it enough how impressed I am offensively. They're in constant motion. And defensively, they're in constant motion. They are looking for the double team. Their help side is coming over to double if you try to enter in the post or stop a drive to the basket. They're just a very sound and very, very good team.
Clayton was fouled by Blake Murphy. A lot of foul calls here in this third quarter, especially compared to that first half.
Yeah, well, the other part of Avondale that makes them tough is that all 5 players can handle like their point guards. So when you get Chase or Blake out on the perimeter against someone who can dribble like a guard, it's tough. It's where these fouls are coming. They're just driving to the basket.
And Country Day will take over. Avondale took too long to throw it in. Something interesting about Ethan Bray coming in the game, we know he can shoot the 3 ball. Country Day has not made a single 3-point shot all night.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can provide a little bit of a spark from the perimeter. This game might be a little bit out of reach at this point, but something to hang your hat on. Here's Blake Murphy for 3. That one falls.
Okay, Jinx. Good job, Luca. You just hit a 3. But, you're right. Usually this is the opposite. We're shooting and making a lot of 3-pointers, and the other team isn't. This is a complete upside-down game than what we're used to.
Caleb Ross lost it, so Country Day will take over on a turnover. A couple of mental errors by Avondale. Now Cordell Robinson will take it up. Robinson finds Kukas on the right side. Working in the post, and they're going to call him for a travel. There was some contact, but the travel came first. Under a minute to go now. Country Day down by 20 here in this third quarter.
Yeah, this last minute, even though it's 20, your mind is always, we got to play sound deep. Let's not leave this third quarter it being 24-25. So we got to close out this quarter. And
DJ Moody's 3 was no good. Cordell Robinson taking it up for the Yellow Jackets, trying to go quickly. And a foul will go against Avondale. Each team with 4 fouls now, so each team 1 foul away from the bonus. That foul is on number 24, Anthony Burton. Marino checks back in for Blake Murphy.
Yeah, I just can't say. It's just been one of those nights, and sometimes that happens over the course of a long season. We can't find the basket playing a good team who's shooting the lights out.
Martin handling for Country Day. Takes a little slip. Now Marino working inside. Gets his own rebound. Putback doesn't go. And Avondale taking it the other way. Here comes Caleb Ross. Now inside. And Loris able to put it back. He's got 16 tonight.
Yeah, it's been a microcosm sequence for tonight's game, and we get a good look.
Kukas inside. Nice job under 10 seconds to get back on the board. He's been a little bit quiet lately. Marino now putting it through. Doesn't fall, and the buzzer sounds at the end of the third quarter. And that will do it for the third quarter, so Country Day is down on the scoreboard by 20. We will take a quick step aside here. This is your home for Yellow Jacket basketball. We welcome you back inside the Shaw Gymnasium for this fourth quarter of action. Yellow Jackets down on the scoreboard by 20. Avondale drives and scores quickly. It's Anthony Burton with his first points of the night. We have a very special guest joining us here in the fourth quarter. It's Country Day women's basketball head coach Amber Dean. Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you've got a nice contest against Dayton Carroll tomorrow. We will be broadcasting, I believe it's at 12:30. What should we kind of look for from your team tomorrow? It's a team from out of state, so fans might not be as familiar.
It's going to be super competitive. It's a good team. They're having a really good season. They got a couple upperclassmen that are playing really, really well for them. They're super gritty. Being from University of Dayton, I know how gritty of people they are from that city. They play hard. They'll defend. They can shoot the ball pretty well, and I think we match up pretty well. I think we're very similar to them. We try to play hard. We're gritty. We'll defend as well. We'll both press, both our teams, their teams, play up and down, try to play fast, get a lot of threes up. So it should be a really fun match.
Now, walk us through the past couple of games for your team. It's been a little bit since we've had you guys on a broadcast. What have we kind of seen in the last couple of games, and just kind of walk us through that?
So unfortunately, I think since the last broadcast, we've had to deal with some injuries. We've had a couple of games with a couple of key players, a couple of starters out, and which has forced a couple of players to play out of position and learn different spots. We dropped probably 2 games since, one being out of state, both being out of state. One was where we went to Columbus and played a very good brush team, and then we lost last weekend to Montini Catholic out of Illinois by 3. But we're figuring things out, hitting our stride. We're trying to flow and play the best basketball we can right now. So still feel pretty good. It'll be nice to have all of our starters back this upcoming weekend, though, tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly going to be an exciting game, and we welcome everyone to join us on the broadcast right here tomorrow afternoon. There's Ethan Bray going down low for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, I think, Coach Dean, we need to telecast every one of your games because I think Luca and I are undefeated when we're calling your games. We've thoroughly enjoyed it. And one thing I'd like to note today, we highlighted the 2017 that Coach Nobles was senior captain on, and tomorrow we're doing the 2009 Women's State Championship team that Coach Amber Dean was a member of. So it'll be an exciting day of basketball.
Yes, good teams, very good teams, legendary.
Now, I want to get a little bit of a coach's perspective here. You know, this has been a little bit of a tough game for the men's team tonight, obviously down on the scoreboard. What can a team kind of learn from a game like this, and kind of how are they going to carry this experience? Obviously, the Avondale team is, you know, a top team in Michigan this year. What can they kind of take away from this game and bring into the future this year and beyond? Yeah,
lots of film. Just go back, watch the film. Find both the good things that you did to put up 40 going 5 minutes into the fourth. That's not too bad against a pretty good team. And then find a way to show where they got to get better defensively, handling pressure. They're like us. They got a couple of key players out, and they're trying to adjust and learn how to play together mid-February-ish. You know, they're a little bit younger and things like that. So games like this actually teach you a lot more. So you can learn a lot from a game like this, and then just go drill the heck out of it at practice. So they'll be absolutely fine. They'll learn a lot. They'll bounce back.
I saw online earlier this week you working with the men's team. You have a background in sports psychology. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've done in the athletics program here since coming back after graduating here in 2012? Kind of take us through kind of the difference you've seen that make in some of these athletics programs and kind of what your approach is with that.
It's been really nice to be able to do work like that with the lacrosse team, women's lacrosse last year, our volleyball team this past fall, as well as our men's tennis team this past fall. It's awesome when they invite me in because I know they're just looking for another edge. They do tons of work, tons of practice, but their coaching staff and their players are so invested that they're just looking for that 1%, 2% to get them over the top. And to be able to be a small part of that, I love it. It's nothing more than just talking about confidence, mental toughness, how to handle pressure, see pressure as an opportunity rather than a threat. And I spoke to the men's team about that as well, just bouncing back from mistakes, wanting it but not needing it, How do you respond when things aren't going your way? Mental toughness, mental resilience, things that are not going to help you on the playing field, but off of it as well. So I love it when teams ask me, and I'm also teaching a second semester sports psychology class with second semester seniors, which is a lot of fun. And it's, again, those kids, those 18, 19 kids that are in class, they're just looking for that edge, which I love. So it's been nice. A place like Country Day that's all about excellence. It's just that next step for our athletes here to take upon. So it's been really good.
Yeah, and I do want to honor the two teams that you mentioned that won state championships this past fall, both the men's tennis team and the women's volleyball team. I've talked to some members from both of those teams, including head coach Kim Lockhart of the volleyball team, who I had on the Jacket Journeys podcast, and both of those teams really attributed a lot of their success to the work that they've been able to do with you in sports psychology. And, you know, they talked about kind of the mental aspect of the sport and kind of what that did for them and brought them to really the ultimate goal.
Yeah, that's nice that they want to give me that credit. They both of those teams, they did a lot of work on their own, and I'm just glad I was able to give them a little extra push to make that playoff push toward the end of their seasons. But credit to them, volleyball winning the first one in school history, and then tennis going and getting number like 100 in school history. Yeah. So two great programs, and they'll be right back at it next fall again.
Well, I think that's a testament, Coach, to what something stuck with me that you just said as being the baseball coach here. They were willing to do it, but that's what champions do. So almost them reaching out to you probably is an indicator they're different.
Yes.
Because they are here for the whole deal. Yep. They want to see it to the end, and whether it's being mentally or spiritually prepared, they're going to do that and not leave any stone unturned. And I almost, when I hear those stories, like you were saying, you know, being humble, not wanting all the credit, but that tells you something about those kids and those coaches, right?
Yes,
like, you know, right there, okay, I can work with you. You're going to come ask me, I can work with them, and there's something special about it.
Yes, super receptive. They're going to actually buy into what you're talking about. They want that learning experience, and they want to be able to apply it. They're looking for anything that's going to give them an edge. So what I say to them and the work that we do, it doesn't work if they're not super receptive to learning and growing. So, yeah, full credit to them.
We're getting closer to the end of the regular season for basketball, playoffs quickly approaching, and your team is sure to be a threat and a team that really no one's going to want to face in the playoffs. What are we looking for, and what should fans be looking for from your team as you enter the playoffs and hopefully go on a nice playoff run?
So for us, we're at our best when we're scoring a lot, when the game is fast, when we're getting some shots up, defending really well, speeding up the tempo. We like to score in the 60s and 70s. We believe that's an exciting brand of basketball. It's exciting for me to coach, fans to come watch, and most importantly for the girls to play in. They don't need to learn a ton of sets, and they could just play a little bit free within some type of system. We like 5 out. We like a little 4 out. And we do have some sets, but for them, it's all about pace, playing with some freedom. I always tell them freedom within the system. I don't want you out there completely chaotic, but as long as we move with pace, we set each other screens both on and off the ball, bodies don't stick, the ball doesn't stick, that's when we believe we're at our best. So if we're scoring 60-plus, we feel really, really good.
We've had a lot of history lessons. It's kind of been the new thing on the broadcast this year is kind of the halftime history lessons about the overall greatness of Country Day athletics programs, and specifically both of these basketball programs. What does kind of the history behind these Yellow Jackets mean to you? Obviously, you played here, you went to school here, now you're a coach here. How do you kind of carry that over into your coaching style and kind of that pursuit of excellence that we're all looking for?
Coaching is everything to me. I mean, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love giving back to our program, Coach O, the school, the community that's given so much to me. And I just try to make sure I'm leading with a lot of passion, a lot of love. I like to be honest with our team. And they're super coachable. I mean, it's ridiculous how coachable they are. But I think the amount of time we spend off of the court, which was really, really important with Coach O as well, and I learned that from him, just sitting in his office and talking about my family, talking about life. I try to do that with our girls as well. And, yeah, just our entire program is built on love. That's what Coach O is all about, the relationships, and that's why him and I still go to breakfast a couple times a month, and that's why he still pays for my breakfast when we go, which I love too. And that's the goal with the girls. I mean, I want to win some championships, I want to win some games, but I want to make sure I'm in their weddings and they're inviting me to their baby showers and things like that. That's what's most important, and I try to lead with that every single day.
You know, if I may, and I've said this on our telecast before with Luca, it's been a great thing to see Daryl come back, you come back, Ashton Akins in the football program, and I've always, when people have asked me about coaching or that question, every coach loves the coach and all that stuff, but when you coach at a school that you went to, it becomes personal.
Yes.
And I can see the time and effort that you, Daryl, Ashton put in, and it's been a great thing for me. You know, I was coaching and teaching here when you were in high school, and now being on the other end of it, I completely appreciate everything that when you talk about coaching basketball, there's a lot of pride in it, and you want to carry on that torch, and it's just a special thing. We're in a special time at Country Day with some alums coming back, and I think the future is very bright. But just as a fellow alum who's a little bit older than you, I'm not going to say how much older, I truly appreciate what you do with the girls and with everybody else. And what you bring to the mental side with the other programs, I know is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and evolving. You may find yourself out on the baseball field this spring.
I hope so.
And that's just a great thing, and it's why I know our athletic department, when there's an opportunity to have you come back, Daryl Nash, and it's just you don't even think about it, like, let's go. And you see it the way your girls play, and even in this game, which obviously a game they're going to want to process and forget about quickly. All season long, I watched Coach Noble's team, and they're starting to take his personality, and they're not playing the scoreboard. They're playing hard no matter what, and that's when we do watch your girls. It doesn't matter whether you're up or it's tight. They keep the same vibe, and it's just a great testament to you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Coach, something you mentioned a little bit earlier, too, is just kind of the chemistry and the camaraderie of your team, and it's something you can kind of see while they're playing with each other on the court. It seems like they're all just having a great time out there, and just they all really genuinely like each other a lot, and they're great teammates. They're great friends more than anything.
Yes. Yep.
Do you think that's really kind of the key to making a great team and to building something great?
Huge. I mean, sometimes their biggest fault, and we had this conversation at practices today, they get along too much. Like, they have too much fun together. They're too good of friends sometimes. They're so close, which is obviously awesome to be a part of. But at the beginning of practice, and almost every practice, we have the conversation around finding the balance between having fun and working hard. And when they find that balance of finding the joy in it, but working their butts off, that's when the magic happens. That's when, like I said earlier, we're scoring 70, 80 points. Everyone's laughing, having a good time. It feels free. It feels light. That's the goal every practice, every game. But it helps. Their camaraderie, their chemistry helps a lot with that. It helps just everyone feel involved, everyone feel valued. So, yes, very, very, very important.
Well, your team plays a very entertaining, very great brand of basketball, and we're excited to see it tomorrow right here at 12:30 against Dayton Carroll. Sure to be a great game. Thank you so much for coming on the broadcast for the fourth quarter. Great talking to you.
Thank you. Go Jackets.
Go Jackets. And that is the end of our game here in the Shaw Gymnasium. The Yellow Jackets fall to Avondale 72-48. It was a little bit of a tough game for Country Day. We knew they were a little bit short-handed, and things kind of got a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Coach Dean said it appropriately. Coach Nobles, they're going to watch this film. They're going to process it. What do we need to work on? And they're going to move on from this game. They're not going to move on from working to improve as a team, but they're going to move on from this game right away and come back Tuesday playing Detroit Denby in this game, and I would expect a very energized effort. But we're getting close to the playoffs. Hopefully some of the injuries injured players come back. But like we said at the jump, right now this is what it is. They've got 5 games left in the regular season. But I do know, being that we're an independent, that we are just building toward the playoffs, and with a young roster still. I mean, we're living in the moment, but all these experiences are going to add up.
Yeah, and, it's going to be a little bit more down the road for the Yellow Jackets here. Now they fall to 500, so going to try to bounce back from that a little bit and see what they can do going into the playoffs as we near that point in the season. I do want to bring up our next couple of telecasts here. Tomorrow, Dayton Carroll for the women's team, sure to be a great game. We just had a nice conversation with head coach Amber Dean, so please make sure you're joining us for that. And also next week, Tuesday, like you just mentioned, the men's team playing Denby for senior night, so please make sure you tune in for those couple of games. There's sure to be some great basketball action from here in the historic Shaw Gymnasium.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was great having Amber on this. And, again, we're both alums from different periods. But, there were a lot of things she said that just resonated with me. And she was talking about staying in contact with Coach O. One thing I'll have to say, hopefully he's listening. I actually had a great conversation with Coach Keener today. And, as we were talking, and he brought up talking to alums, and didn't matter if he hadn't talked to someone in a couple months or even years, or it's a continued communication, that it always just brings joy to him. And, I do think, again, Amber in women's basketball, Daryl in men's basketball, I'm the baseball coach. Ashton Akins is on the varsity football staff. We're alums, but we learn from such great mentors. And I think people forget what a great the coaching of in athletics in our past was. You have obviously Coach Keno, Coach Orlando, Coach D'Angelo, Coach Bartashuk, Bukhari. I mean, these are some of the all-time greats. And what they all had in common is what Amber said about Coach O. They're about people. They were just about people. And I just see that, and it kind of brought me joy listening to Amber, because you just see everything that Coach O taught her. That's the way she's taking this program. You see it with Coach Nobles. Didn't have a full complement of players, and even with a young roster, they just keep grinding, and they're going to find a way to improve on this. And by the time they get to districts, hopefully we have some players back. They're going to be right in the hunt to get a district championship. So that is ultimately what's going to happen out of a game like this. He's going to lean on. He may even call Coach Keener tonight. I mean, these are the relationships we're talking about, and the power and impact of having alums as coaches in our program. It's just a beautiful thing, and just kind of hit me with you talking with Amber. Just a great, if there's one positive out of today, was, just reflecting on all of that tonight. And
really one of the greatest things about that is you see it with the way that the players play on the court. They play with that idea of camaraderie, of a team, one team in mind. And we're sure to see that tomorrow as Absolutely. The Yellow Jackets, the women's team, face off against Dayton Carroll. We really hope to see you there or watching on the broadcast. For Steve Lepkowski, I'm Luka Nowinski signing off from Shaw Gymnasium. Good night.